Welcome to this intro video on wood harvesting in Entropia universe. In this guide, we're going to be harvesting on planet Cyrene, as it has a good mission that you can do alongside the harvesting that rewards with some random blueprints. Now, to start with harvesting, you're going to need some equipment. You can purchase the basic harvesting tool from the trade terminal. You're also going to want a PH3 unlimited harvesting tool that you can get from auction or from another player. The difference here is that the TT tool can only get you small moonleaf boards, while as the larger unlimited PH3 is able to get the wood from all three tree types. There's three different types of trees: small, large, and huge. There's three types of boards you'll get as well: small, regular, and long, and you get them from the corresponding tree types. You'll only be able to get the regular and the long boards if you're using a PH3 tool. The regular TT tool will not be able to acquire those. So to get started, head to this mission point at the Tanhok immigration point here and speak to the NPCs to pick up the mission. Then we'll just go to one of the few tree harvesting spots and start cutting wood. There's some waypoints you can find that link to the several locations on Cyrene where you can cut wood. They're in the description of this video and on the Entropia.Academy course page. A nice thing about Cyrene is that the cuttable trees are green and the non-cuttable trees are pink. So it's easy to see which trees you're able to cut down at a glance and from a distance. At the north part of the map is one of the most popular tree cutting areas, as there's usually a very dense forest. However, you can see it's been picked clean already. So I flew further in and it still wasn't very good, so I went on to another spot. Harvesting trees is great for raising your skills in Entropia. Several skills that you gain from harvesting trees are going to increase your looter skills, which means that you should probably start harvesting trees before you get seriously into hunting, as you'll get a higher return ratio on your hunting based on your looter skills. And so raising your looter skill from cutting trees is a more cost-effective method, as your looter skill does not affect your return rate on harvesting. Another thing to note is that you get the same amount of skill based on if you use the large harvesting PH3 or the small TT tool. Unlike other professions in Entropia universe, the amount of skill that you gain from harvesting is not tied to your TT expenditure. Most other professions, for example, if you spend, say, 1 ped per shot, you're going to get way more skill than if you're spending 1 peck per shot. However, with harvesting, it doesn't matter if you use the smallest or the largest harvesting tool, you always get the same amount of skill gain per use of the tool. So in this situation, you're going to always want to use the TT tool on the small trees. The only reason you wouldn't do this is if you want a bunch of the small board quickly, or you just want to complete a mission faster. But in general, the most effective way to level your harvesting skills is to use the TT tool on the small trees. Now, if you do find a huge tree, you're going to want to use the PH3 on that every time, as huge trees have profitable boards that you can sell to other players for markup. The large trees also have boards that sell for markup, but they don't sell as easily and the markup is not as high. So you might want to just use the small tool on the large trees as well, unless you plan to craft later. What I do personally is I use the small tool on the small trees and I use the PH3 on the large and huge trees, and I save all of my wood. Another key point about harvesting that a lot of players don't realize is that the trees are on a timer. So each tree has a hidden timer, and that's how long the tree remains once you start harvesting. The trees don't remain based on how many swings you do on them or how much ped that they have inside of them. No, they only last based on a timer, and that timer is random per tree. You can have 1 person, 2 people, or even theoretically 100 people harvesting a tree at the same time, and it will not deplete faster than if there was just 1 person harvesting it, as the tree remains solely on a timer. So for example, if there are 2 or more players in the area, it is best if you share the tree. You all start the tree at the same time and you harvest it, and then you move to the next tree. That way you're not depleting the forest and competing with each other. Some players might get mad that you're hugging next to them and doing the tree with them, but they are just ignorant players who do not know how harvesting works. If you do see someone else in the area with you, be sure to harvest trees alongside them, even if they get mad. You are not griefing them. You are only sharing the trees and making it better for both of you, even if they don't understand that. After harvesting 10,000 points of wood, you're able to instantly get your mission reward. Here, you're not able to choose your reward. It is randomly assigned, and you can grab a new mission weekly. You might be wondering what you do with your wood. We'll cover that in an upcoming video in this series. All right, have fun and get harvesting.